Welcome. I'm Ann Manning with Plymouth Congregational Church, and I co-lead the Racial Justice Initiative. We welcome you today to this memorial vigil honoring the life of George Floyd. Our purpose here today is to honor and uplift his life and all of those harmed by state-sanctioned violence. We especially offer prayers today for the continued peace, safety, and beloved community at George Floyd Square. Here we are gathered at Plymouth Church, and all over the city we offer our prayers for peace and justice. Plymouth Congregational Church gratefully acknowledges that we are on the sacred, territorial, traditional land of the Dakota people. It is an honor to live, pray, seek justice, and create community alongside Dakota, Ojibwe, and other indigenous people throughout the Twin Cities and our state. We invite you here to be present today in a way that really is meaningful for you. So our invitation is to engage in silence and reflection, and if so moved, to bear witness to what has happened in our city during this past year, to hold sacred space, and to send prayers specifically of healing first to George Floyd Square and then to our entire city and the metropolitan area. We also invite the broad range of feelings. The wind is helping us experience that. It's been a fun morning of things tipping over. But we really do invite the broad range of feelings here today that we have all experienced, I think, in the past year. Grief, anger, sadness, and then at times, joy and the freedom that we feel in really grounding in authentic community, in finding beloved community, I think in ways we have not until now. May that continue. Please know that all emotions are welcome here. During this time, you're invited to sit here in the prayer tent, and at times, especially at 3, you heard the band, I think. We're going to do some community singing, which is one of my first loves, so I will definitely be here front and center. There'll be poetry and readings at various times. At 2:30, Emily over here is going to offer a water ceremony here in the prayer tent. And at 20 after each hour, we will offer 9 minutes and 29 seconds of silence to honor what George Floyd endured when Derek Chauvin murdered him 1 year ago today. Feel free to walk the labyrinth. It's right behind you. You can't miss it. There are simple instructions, and feel free to ask anyone with a yellow vest on if you would like more instruction on the labyrinth. We have poster making, mandala. You can create your own mandala or color one in. I've found that to be very reflective and meditative. We will hang some of the posters on the fences that people make today. We have an abundance of snacks and water, so feel free to have some, partake of some food. And on a hot day like today, I'm sure you'll want some water. As spiritual teacher Jules Harris says, bearing witness is a radical act. It is a way of shining a light on the truth and standing steadfastly in that light. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for that welcome, Anne, and welcome to all of you. It is wonderful to be in physical, embodied space with other human beings. This is lovely. Thank you for being here and being present. Today is a day of being present. My name is Seth Patterson, and I'm one of the clergy here at Plymouth Congregational Church in Minneapolis, and on behalf of our clergy team, on behalf of the staff, the leadership, and the congregation, we welcome you here. And I would like to have a special thank you to Anne and Linda and another Anne and Hazel and Nina and Barb for making this happen. Yes, please. As much as I'm sure it looks as if something like this spontaneously happens on a Tuesday afternoon, a lot of work went into this. Even though we are outside and even though we are at a point in this world of pandemic where we are talking about not wearing masks, we do ask that you please wear a mask. And this is primarily because at some points in the day there will be children here. And in the same way that we shut down schools a year ago to keep our elder populations most safe, we now need to stay masked for those who are not yet able to be vaccinated on the younger edge of our spectrum. So please do that if you are able. So to begin, will you please pray with me? If you are able and so inclined, would you please put both of your feet on the ground? All of us connected through the earth, connected to each other and to all other living things rooted and touching the ground. Let us pray. God who is present, God who is present inside and around, in between and surrounding every single one of us and all others, hold us as we remember. Hold us as we vigilize and memorialize. Hold us as we gather together in the memory of one of us lost to state-sanctioned violence. As our sibling Elie Wiesel once said, to listen to a witness is to become a witness, and we gather together today because we witnessed, and we are here so others will witness our presence. And in the words of our Franciscan siblings, we continue in this prayer. May God bless us with discomfort, at easy answers, hard hearts, half-truths, and superficial relationships. May God bless us that we may live from deep within our heart where your spirit dwells. May you bless us with anger at injustice, oppression, and exploitation of people. God bless us so that we may work for justice, freedom, and peace. May you bless us with tears to shed from those who suffer from pain, rejection, starvation, and war. May God bless us so that we may reach out our hands to comfort those and to turn their pain into joy. And may God bless us all with enough foolishness to believe that we can make a difference in this world, in this neighborhood, in this city, so that we will courageously try to do what we think we can do. May we be blessed to fearlessly speak out about injustice, unjust laws, corrupt politicians, cruel treatment of prisoners and senseless wars, genocide, starvations, and the poverty that is so pervasive. May God bless us that we remember that we are all called to continue your redemptive work of love and healing. In God's place, in and through God's name, and God's Spirit continually creating and breathing new life and grace into everything and everyone and every place that we touch. Amen.
Should we do the 9 minutes right now and then I'll read the poem? Good afternoon, everyone. It is 2:20. And we're going to have 9 minutes and 29 seconds of silence. And after that, I'll read a poem by Maya Angelou. A Brave and Startling Truth by Maya Angelou. We, this people, on a small and lonely planet, traveling through casual space, past aloof stars across the way of indifferent suns, to a destination where all signs tell us it is possible and imperative that we learn a brave and startling truth. And when we come to it, to the day of peacemaking, when we release our fingers from fists of hostility and allow the pure air to cool our palms, we, this people on this small and drifting planet, whose hands can strike with such abandon that in a twinkling, life is sapped from the living, yet those same hands can touch with such healing, irresistible tenderness, that the haughty neck is happy to bow, that the proud back is glad to bend. Out of such chaos, out of such contradiction, we learn that we are neither devils nor divines. When we come to it, we, this people on this wayward floating body, created on this earth, of this earth, have the power to fashion for this earth a climate where every man and every woman can live freely without sanctimonious piety, without crippling fear. When we come to it, we must confess that we are the possible, we are the miraculous, the true wonder of this world. That is when, and only when, we come to it.
We chose not to publish a schedule. We felt like one of the things that we can push ourselves to do is to live into the moment. And so I do want to welcome Emily Jarrett Hughes, a member of our church who is known by many of you as a water walker, both with Sharon Day, the Ojibwe elder who leads the Nibby walks, and as someone who has really studied the traditions of American European, would that be a correct way to say it? Water ceremony culture. So today we will do one with Emily that she has created. And at 3 o'clock we'll have some community singing. Every hour we'll have a fair amount of silence. We will always stop for 9 minutes and 29 seconds. I don't know about you, I've done it many times. I am never, ever not moved by how long that really is. It's really amazing. It's heartbreaking. During the 4 o'clock hour, there'll be another poem. We have a list of people who have been murdered by police, especially Black people, and we will read some of those names. More beautiful poems at 5 and other things. At 6 o'clock, it will be family, youth, and children, so that will have a up spirit, so we hope you can join us. Another relatively quiet hour from 7 to 8, but there will be poetry, readings, and some music. And then at 8 o'clock, Dwayne, Beth, and Seth will lead us for an hour of reflection and a call to action. So that's, you know more than most people now about how the day's going to unfold. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Emily.
Everything's spraying. This is my clock. Thank you, Linda. Where do I put everything? Yeah. So I'm really honored to be here. And again, this is an extension of how I lead a monthly contemplative practice through the contemplative group here that meets at Lake of the Isles. I'm going to just start with a song. The river is a healer, the river is a sage, The river knows no end, and the river knows no age. The river is a healer every single day. It's living in the moment, and it always finds a way. Water, heal my body. Water, heal my soul. When I go down to the water, by the water I feel whole. The river calls me over. It's calling out my name. In the day and in the night I hear the river all the same. It's calling me over. It's calling out my pain. Oh, a river gathers tears just like a river gathers rain. Water, heal my body. Water, heal my soul. When I go down to the water, by the water I feel whole. The river is a traveler, always on the go. Oh, a river never worries if it's fast or if it's slow. River, take me to where I need to go. Oh, and I will just relax and let the river flow. Water, heal my body. Water, heal my soul. When I go down to the water, by the water I feel whole. So this song is always an anchor for me. On one level, I'm in love with the water because I feel so whole by the water. And I want to share that there's even more reasons why I bring contemplation and the water to Plymouth, and to share just 3 ideas of the watershed discipleship articulated by Ched Myers and others. And one of them is 3 meanings. One is that we live in a watershed moment. And the murder of George Floyd, we really experience as a watershed moment where we really feel that wake up that we have to live differently. And it's a watershed, one watershed moment in a watershed time where our choices will impact the nature of life going forward very significantly. Another meaning is that we are people of faith in a watershed, in a basin of relationships in which we are completely bound with each other. And water is a way of recognizing our oneness with each other that way. Water has a memory, remembers all the tears that are in it. And it really invites us to immerse in our place. Wholly immerse ourselves in our community. When we immerse ourselves in the water, it's to immerse with all of life, the whole basin of relationships, and to dissolve who we think we are as individuals or as communities, to understand ourselves as a much bigger whole. And the third meaning when we're exploring the idea of watershed discipleship is that we're listening to the wisdom of water, that it teaches about flow and pace, and the movement of life towards confluence, towards unity. So that's just a little bit of why I've both have been a student of Christian, Orthodox, any Christian tradition around water, and also the indigenous water working. So I like to recall us, or sing a song from Tizé, to name our thirst for living water, that vital, what's water and more than water, like a source of life to come into our own lives and into our community. And I'm going to sing it for a moment, invite you to join me in that. never thirst again. Come drink of living water, 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 never thirst again. I just want to allow us to just have one more moment to think of the water. This water that began from my tap, but began in the Mississippi River, that began in Itasca, that began in the clouds, that has no real age, that has been around for so many generations and carries the memory and life of all of this story of life in this water. And I'm just going to give us a moment to just have a moment to pause in memory of this last year, the sweat and the tears of this last year. What I'll do, I'm going to invite you, each person, if you're able, to stand up and pick one of these flowers from this bowl, and then come back to where you are, but maybe stay standing, and we're going to take it from there. All right? When I was picking, I thought, there's no way. I've totally overpicked. I'm going to have way too many flowers. And so I'm sorry if you're holding a flower in spirit, that still matters. So, so there's so many different ways that I love using plants. Even like we have mainly in our tradition right now, we have palms, but all of these I feel lead us back to the tree of life. And the flowers are such a beautiful meeting ground where one generation moves to the next in life. So this is a chance we are going to use the flowers to bless the water. And they're going to carry all of our hopes and wishes for the water. We're giving them our best hope for the future into the water, that the water will then carry into the community. So this is a moment as you hold your flower for you to let all of the enormous hopes you have flow in there, your wildest dreams of what a new beloved community might be. And also I invite you to speak a one-word summary of that word as you let me see how I'm going to do it. I'm going to gather them into one bundle and use this for the next step. And so I'm just thinking again through my COVID world here. Just put them in flower down, and that will be how we'll go from there, okay? So, and if you can come up and kind of do it loud. I'm going to start. For healing. And then just keep on coming up. You can do it up there though, sorry. Yeah, just faster. For love. For joy. For community. For there. For communication. For truth.
Kindness. Generosity. For justice, equality.
Perseverance. For forgiveness.
For us as future ancestors.
Justice. Redemption.
Transformation.
For growth.
Truth.
Imagination. Bravery. Unity. For gratitude. For action.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And so I appreciate the people that are resourceful and found additional plants. Okay. So may this water eliminate what separates you from our oneness. May this water submerge you into the place we live and all of the relationships in our community.
So we have about 10 minutes to do a mandala, sit here quietly, walk the labyrinth, and then we will start at 3 with the same welcome. And then Gingy and her band are going to have us sing together, which I'm very excited about. So stick around for the singing. Hope reminded me, we are loaded with snacks. They're down here. There are fresh cookies and scones and bread and prepackaged snacks and water, so you're welcome.
We shall not move like a tree that's planted by the water.